A very good afternoon. I hope the presentation is visible. Is the presentation visible? Very good afternoon to all. I am Harshika, 2012 batch IS officer of Madhya Pradesh cadre. I'm going to talk about one of our projects, which was essentially taken up when I was collector Mandala about 2 years back. This project was essentially about Niraksharta Se Azadi Abhiyan, which was essentially about the just a second. I think there's some technical issues. Sorry. So basically, I'm Harshika, 2012 batch IS officer of Madhya Pradesh cadre, and today I'll be presenting one of our campaigns and a project which we had started when I was collector Mandala about 2 years back in Madhya Pradesh. Just to give a brief about the district where we launched this literacy campaign, Mandala is essentially a tribal district located in the southeastern part of Madhya Pradesh. It is one of the most forested area in mainland India. We have the famous Kanha Tiger Reserve there. It is a Naxal affected district. When I joined this district in the initial period, when we were going about the villages for the field visits, there were certain things which was quite apparent. I was receiving a lot of these complaints about banking forgery cases being reported in these areas. A fund on account of various government schemes were flowing into the khata or the accounts of the tribal beneficiaries. However, they were found to be at the receiving end of a lot of these forgery issues. It was also visible that a lot of other social issues, a lot of these, I would say, women health issues were quite prevalent in this entire area. And also, it was apparent that most of our government schemes which we were implementing was not able to reach or was not able to be comprehended by the common people, because, like, for example, we were doing all the IC with the wall painting, etc. However, the populace in general were not able to understand or appreciate it. In fact, all of these issues, it kind of had a common background to it. It was essentially because people were not able to appreciate things. They were not able to understand things on account of the general illiteracy that was prevalent in the area. However, in the same area, we could also sense that there was another set of literate and lettered population who knew what was correct and how things have to be done. This gave us the idea that why not take the help of the literate population and let them do the handholding for another set of illiterate or unlettered population in the area. Why can't 68% literate population of the district do the handholding for the 32% unlettered populace? In fact, at the household level, why can't an educated daughter-in-law do the handholding for her, say, mother-in-law, or for that matter, an educated son do the handholding for his father? That was the kind of idea with which this entire project was conceptualized. Once this project was conceptualized, the next big challenge was how to start with it, what to do, and how should we go about with it. The first big challenge was with respect to the physical resource mobilization. We didn't have that kind of resource with which we could start this project, because no government scheme as of then had this much of bandwidth. So we started something called Gyandan, wherein we went to the common public and urged them to be a part of this noble cause by helping us with the materials such as pen, pencil, other stationaries with which we could take it up. We were lucky enough that with massive mobilization, the society, the community became a part of this entire thing. And in a very short time, we were able to mobilize sufficient amount of resources for the cause. This was followed with the second challenge that we had then, that how to mobilize human resources for such a big number. For this, again, we made an all-out effort to reach out to the lettered populace of the district and request them to be a part of this entire story. Definitely, there was inertia in the initial period. We started off first with the government functionary itself, the entire WCD team, the entire education department team, for that matter. Even the family of the government officers took it upon themselves to, be the trigger for this entire thing, and slowly the entire civil society organization, the political interface, the Gram Panchayat team, everyone became a part of it. And with a meager number of around 2,500 Sakshar Sathis with which we started this project in 2020, by the time we were reaching the peak of this project, we could mobilize about 25,000 Sakshar Sathis for the cause. The third thing that we tried to do was to do a survey and an identification of the Nirakshars who were living in the various villages as well as in the urban areas of the district. For this, we made a dedicated team of the local body, of the WCT and of the education team, along with the revenue team, which literally went on for a door-to-door survey. We also had a lot of these people that we had a lot of experiences with respect to the survey. We kind of had to change the module for the same over a period of time. However, with a lot of efforts over a period of about 3 to 4 months, we were able to identify about 211,850 such people who were not lettered, who were not able to even read, write, or appreciate the alphabets. After that, we tried to work on the course modulation for the same. How should we go about with the course formulation? What should be the levels? What sort of maybe certification for the same? What sort of exam should be planned? How should the material be presented to the common person? We also tried to incorporate the local Gondi language in the overall course formulation, and also incorporated elements of the NIOS or the open school examination pattern for it, so that it's a comprehensive course module with customization, especially in respect of our own district. Thereafter, we tried to do an orientation of the Sakshar Sathis. That is, we tried to reach out to the Sakshar Sathis at the Mohalla level and try to explain to them as to what was the course module and how do we expect them to go about with it. After this was done, we then tried to do a man-to-man mapping of the Sakshar Sathis with the Nirakshars of the district. This was essentially done in a manner that the Sakshar Sathis were comfortable in doing the hand-holding at their own ease. It could be at the household level, at the Mohalla level, at the Gram Panchayat level. So there was a very intensive man-to-man mapping that happened with respect to this. Once all of this was done, the next big challenge was where should we go about with giving these classes, or how should it be formalized? Initially, the entire effort started with the women mobilization, and with the WCT support and the rural Gram Panchayat support, we established about 490 Mahila Gyanalay in the Gram Panchayats, often non-used rooms that we have in a typical Gram Panchayat, new buildings that we have in Madhya Pradesh. These Mahila Gyanalays were then kind of handed over to the Sakshar Sathis, the lady Sakshar Sathis, who used to do the hand holding for the other women. So it was kind of by the women for the women initiative in the case of Mahila Gyanalay. And slowly, when the project started implementing in true sense, we then kind of extended it to the entire Gram Panchayat, including for the male, for the Divyangs, for the 60+ populace. And that was taken care of by establishing of 615 Jan Chetna Kendras, where the volunteers would help us in taking this forward. Once all of this preparation was done, on the occasion of 15th of August 2020, we launched this campaign by the name of Nirasharta Se Azadi Abhiyan, with the objective of ensuring that our people were able to, have a confidence of living their life in a comfortable way and become confident in terms of functional literacy on a day-to-day basis. Once this entire project was implemented, on the way, we faced several challenges. And the good part was that with the public participation itself, we were able to meet these challenges as well. The first challenge was that of the challenge of geography, because as I mentioned, Mandla is a very, very tough terrain in terms of geography. It's a very densely forested area. And we knew that if we are restricting ourselves to fixed place, this entire thing would not make sense. So our Sakshar Sathis met the challenge of geography by crossing the rivers, going to the grazing fields, going to the Manrega sites. They did anything and everything to ensure that they are hand-holding the Nirakshars who were kind of mapped with them. The other thing that we also ensured was a part of this entire implementation was inclusivity. That is, we ensured that the Divyang populace, as well as the Dokla Dokri or the 60+ population, was also being done, they were also hand-holded. For that, we ensured that household level hand-holding was done to ensure that they are not left out of this entire campaign, which was being taken up in the district. The third thing, and in fact, the most, I would say, the pressing challenge that we faced was with respect to the beneficiary mobilization. That is, how to prepare the people mentally for coming and taking up these classes and be a part of this entire campaign. We definitely started with the Women and Child Development Department, where we did a door-to-door campaign for mobilizing the women for the cause. Our SAG movement was very prominent in the district. So the SAG Didis were taken on fold for carrying out this awareness campaign. The local mukaddams or the natural tribal leaders whose dictates, whose word is the diktat for the entire community was taken on loop. The political representatives, the civil society organizations, all of them were taken on loop for doing this beneficiary mobilization. We also made an anthem song with a Gondi local dialect into it, and that was played on almost I would say on a daily basis in the entire district. Every effort was made to ensure that the beneficiaries are mobilized, and over a period of time, it became a trend when once the women started becoming a part of this entire thing, the household also started slowly becoming a part of this entire mobilization thing. Also, as I mentioned, the other challenge was with respect to resources, which we met through Gyandan and the mobilization of Sakshar Sathis on a voluntary basis. Once the project was started, it was also important for us to understand in what direction this entire campaign was going and get some numbers to actually understand what sort of things were getting implemented on the field, for which continuous monitoring and follow-ups were undertaken with the help of very intrinsic teams which were made right at the village level. Apart from that, we also ensured that weekly tests were conducted to give us some idea in which direction our efforts were going. Sample surveys were also undertaken to see and understand as to what was happening in terms of implementation. And mostly, the most important thing that we tried to do was to use various data sets to monitor the progress. The first data set that we used was with respect to the bank data. So what we essentially did was that we took in loop all the banks of the district and asked them to share the list of the people who were coming to bank for various banking purposes, but who were putting in thumb impressions and not signing. That was kind of an indicator for us. This data was collated and sent back to the Sakshar Sathis to do the requisite handholding. The second data set was we also had panchayat elections during this period. So from the electoral roll, we ensured that people were signing and not putting in thumb impression, and that data who were not putting in, who were not signing was actually collated and sent back to the Sakshar Sathis for the requisite follow-up. The third and the most important data set that we used on a daily basis was the Manrega muster roll, because we had about 1 lakh active labor force which was engaged in the Manrega work site. And in terms of attendance, when they were signing on the muster roll, we ensured that they were signing and not putting in thumb impressions. And if there was any, that meant there is some gap, and that data was again shared to the field functionaries for proper hand-holding. One thing which I would like to talk about is that, as I mentioned, the entire effort was essentially by the people, for the people kind of thing. And there were a lot of these volunteers in very big numbers who became a part of this entire movement over a very short period of time. We obviously did not give them any kind of pecuniary benefits, but rather tried to give them social recognition. And that was a kind of a trigger for them to be a part of this entire mobilization process. For example, on 26th of January or 15th of August, it was not the Sarpanch, or for that matter, the chief guest who was doing the flag hosting, but rather it was the Saksha Sati who used to do the flag hosting in any and every important functions that was happening in the district. They were made the chief guest. Everything was done to ensure that they are an essential part of the district life, and they are important part of it. And that kind of social recognition was kind of given to this set of people. The other thing that we essentially worked on was mobilization of youth in big numbers. Basically, we try to reach out to our school children above class 6, and also to our college people, and try to pin in this idea into their mind that in their household there should not be a single person, be they their grandmother or grandfather, who is not able to read, write, or do basic arithmetic. So I would say a very big mobilization of youth was there in the district, and that really helped us in carrying this entire thing ahead. Apart from the other government mobilization that we undertook with the help of WCT and Education Department, wherein household kind of IC activity was done to keep the entire stakeholders engaged to each other, and for the entire process to be carried forward seamlessly. With this entire effort that we had put in 2020, when we did this survey, about 2,11,850 such illiterates were identified. In July 2022, with all these efforts put together, we were able to identify about 35,000 illiterates. So there was a drastic reduction in the numbers. Definitely the migrants and the old age and the Divyang population still was left out of this net, so to say. And because we also wanted to feel confident that the numbers were correct and they were speaking correct story, we tried to get a third-party assessment done for the survey, also with the help of Center for Good Governance, Bhopal, who kind of collaborated with us and helped us to carry forward this survey, and gave us a third-party view into the data. Also, in order to get the figures institutionalized, we ensured that people were sitting for the open school exams and getting certification. Around 42,000 such people also passed this exam during my tenure in Mandla, and thereafter regularly every fortnightly, or after every 3 months, almost 10,000 people have passed this exam. So it's a continuous thing that is also getting institutionalized over a period of time. I was happy to see that the people of the district were now able to appreciate the SMS which we were sending to them in after procurement, after they have taken some PTS benefits. They were now able to appreciate the banking nuances in terms of opening of the bank account, in terms of other banking activities for which they earlier were dependent on other people. They were now able to take it upon themselves. They definitely became confident to carry out their day-to-day activities, and in the entire process there was a strengthening of social fabric, because in that very mohalla household, even at the household level, the younger generation was taking care of the literacy campaign and pulling up other people up the ladder of literacy. And over a period of time, a culture of reading developed in our villages. In evenings, if you just go across any of the Gram Panchayat, you will find scenes wherein
हेलो हेलो
Yeah, am I
हेलो
audible?
Yes, please continue.
Yeah. So basically, entire culture of reading was developed over a period of time where in the villages, if you go across any of the Gram Panchayat, you will see people with pen, paper in their hand and the younger generation doing the hand holding for them. We were lucky enough that almost during that same tenure, the Nav Bharat Saksharta Abhiyan was also getting conceived and it was launched. And we were lucky enough to present the case study of Mandla, and the course module was also later, it also became a part of this entire Abhiyan, and it has now been institutionalized going ahead. There was no local extra resource mobilization. Everything was voluntary, and that helped us to carry forward this entire thing at that point in time. Also, we ensured that once our people have reached a basic level of literacy, they could actually be, move towards and appreciate digital literacy. Whatever digital elements were there in their life was taken care of, and awareness about it was also given to our people. Apart from that, we also volunteered with the banks and ensured that basic financial literacy points like how to open a bank account, what things to be taken care of when you have a bank account, etc., was also internalized in the entire process. When we took up this entire thing, there was a lot of noble experiences which we also were having. And here I would like to share two such noble experiences which I had during this period. I remember during this campaign period, I happened to meet this octogenarian Manglobai in her village. And I found her writing something in a piece of paper. I just went close to her and asked her what she is doing and what she is writing. And in her typical Gondi dialect, she told me that this is a word which I have been listening for the last 8 decades of my life, but now I can feel it, I can sense it, I can appreciate it. The other experience was with respect to Raju Bega. I remember visiting this particular Bega hamlet in deep forest in my initial periods of joining, and when I asked him about the government schemes, he literally ran away from us because they were very hesitant to put up these viewpoints. However, he was also a part of this entire campaign, and he was able to now read, write, catch a bus, come to my office, which was about 80 kilometers away, get his application made, put in his signature, stand in front of me and talk for his rights. That was the kind of confidence that that kind of grew in him, and he was able to meet his needs very, very confidently. This entire campaign was a kind of a social experiment in which we were lucky enough to see that the people were becoming confident. They were becoming confident amongst themselves that they could face their daily challenges on a day-to-day basis. And for me personally, not just as an officer, but as a human being also, it was one of my most pious moments. Thank you so much. We have a very a video which I would request to please share for the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshika. We are trying to play the video. Thanks a lot.
So.
निरक्षरता से आजादी। अक्षर लिखना सीख चुके हैं, अब पढ़ते कथा कहानी, जोड़ घटाना हमें सिखाती बिटिया रानी। मध्य प्रदेश का जनजातीय बहुल मंडला जिला, प्रकृति का वरदान इस जिले पर है। चारों ओर हरियाली के बीच में एक काला टीका निरक्षरता का लगा हुआ था। कलेक्टर हर्षिका सिंह के संकल्प से ये काला टीका अब लाल रंग सा साक्षरता का टीका चमकने लगा है। आत्मनिर्भर मध्य प्रदेश 2023 के रोड मैप के अंतर्गत महिला साक्षरता को आगे बढ़ाने का जिम्मा जिला प्रशासन ने लिया। इसके अंतर्गत साल 2020 में निरक्षरता का दाग मिटाने के लिए एक अभिनव पहल कर प्रत्येक ग्राम पंचायत भवन में महिला ज्ञानालय की स्थापना की गई। इस समय तक मंडला जिले की साक्षरता 56% थी। अपनेपन के साथ सीखने और सिखाने का जिम्मा गांव की शिक्षित बहु बेटियों के जिम्मे सौंपा गया। कहते हैं ना, जहां चाह वहां राह। मंडला जिला इसका अद्भुत उदाहरण बना है। मार्च 2022 में चौंकाने वाले आंकड़े मिले। अब तक लोगों ने अक्षर ज्ञान के साथ अंकों का ज्ञान प्राप्त कर लिया है।
अब काम जाम में जाते हैं, बनी अन्नी के हिसाब में बनाते रहे। अब पढ़ने लगे तो बनाने लगी हिसाब, और दुकान भी जाओ तो पैसा भी कोई हिसाब बन जाता है। और जब कितना दे में कितना नहीं, सवा दे सॉरी नहीं रहते रहे, काम भर करो। अब पूरा मालूम होने लगी सब। अब दस्खत करा भी बनाने लगी, पढ़े हैं जब से।
देखने में ये राहत की बात है, लेकिन कलेक्टर हर्षिका सिंह को ये गवारा नहीं था। वो 100% सफलता देखना चाहती हैं। इस नवाचार के तहत महिलाएं को अक्षर ज्ञान, शब्द ज्ञान, प्राथमिक अंक गणना, लेखन एवं पठन की शिक्षा प्रदान की जाती है। इसके बाद इन महिलाओं को बैंक का शुरुआती लेन देन समझाया गया।
हम दस्तखत करते हैं तो अब खुशी हो गई हमको।
इसमें खाता खोलना, पैसा जमा निकालना सिखाया गया। बैंक द्वारा स्थानीय गोंडी बोली भाषा के माध्यम से लिखने पढ़ने की समझ विकसित की गई, ताकि महिलाएं बैंकिंग धोखाधड़ी से बच सकें।
हम बैंक जाते हैं तो जितना देते रहे हमको, हम अपने लेके और अपने घर चले आते रहे। अब पढ़ना लिखना जो सीख लिया है तो बस हमको सब समझ में आ जाते हैं, तो हम फिर अब पूरे बनी लाते हैं।
जिला प्रशासन मंडला के इस अभिनव प्रयास महिला ज्ञानालय की गूंज देश भर में हुई। नवाचार महिला ज्ञानालय के परिणाम स्वरूप मंडला जिले की 486 ग्राम पंचायतों में 2000 महिलाओं ने निरक्षर महिलाओं को शिक्षित करने की जिम्मेदारी संभाली। महिलाएं आज स्वयं अपना नाम लिखने एवं पढ़ने में सक्षम हैं।
हमको अच्छा लग रहा है, लड़का बच्चा को देख करके हम भी का मन लग रहा है कि और हम भी पढ़ते।
इसके बाद जिला प्रशासन ने प्रौढ़ शिक्षा में यही अभिनव प्रयोग की शुरुआत की। जिले भर में 2500 अक्षर साथी के साथ मिलकर 615 सामाजिक केंद्रों की स्थापना की गई।
अभी में या दस्तखत करेला सीख गए हम तो दस्तखत करते हैं।
अक्षर साथी अनेक बाधाओं को पार कर अभियान को कामयाब बनाया।
अंगूठा लगाते रहे, अब अंगूठा नहीं लगाती हैं, दस्तखत कर लेते हैं।
इस मेहनत का परिणाम निकला कि लोग बैंक में हस्ताक्षर करने लगे हैं। स्थानीय पंचायत चुनाव में भी ये पहला अवसर है जब नागरिकों ने अंगूठे की जगह मतदान करते समय हस्ताक्षर किया। सामाजिक सहयोग से साक्षरता का कार्य किया गया। महिला बाल विकास ने महिलाओं के लिए ज्ञानालय केंद्र खोले। पुरुषों के लिए स्कूल में सामाजिक चेतना केंद्र की स्थापना की गई।
लिखना आपको अच्छा लग रहा है, पढ़ना लिखना सीख रहे हैं।
निरक्षरता से आजादी के अभियान में घर के पढ़े लिखे बहु बच्चों ने बुजुर्गों को पढ़ाना शुरू किया। 60 वर्ष से अधिक उम्र की महिला पुरुषों को साक्षर बनाने की पहल शुरू हुई, जिसमें 2500 एक्टिव वॉलंटियर ने अपना विशेष योगदान दिया। साथ ही बच्चों ने अलग से अपने घर के बुजुर्ग को पढ़ाना शुरू किया। लगभग 2 वर्ष पूर्व जिले में 2.5 लाख नागरिक निरक्षर थे, जिन्हें साक्षर करना एक बड़ी चुनौती थी। लेकिन जिला प्रशासन के संकल्प के चलते चुनौती कामयाबी में बदलती गई। ये एक नवाचार था जिसने महिलाओं को ऊर्जावान बना दिया। पढ़ी लिखी महिलाओं ने गांव के निरक्षर महिलाओं को साक्षर बनाने का संकल्प लिया। कोशिश अपना रंग छोड़ जाती है। हैरानी नहीं होना चाहिए, कलेक्टर हर्षिका सिंह के प्रयासों का सुफल है कि उम्र के 8वें पड़ाव यानी 80 बरस की अम्मा भी अक्षर ज्ञान प्राप्त कर चुकी हैं।
मंडला जिले के विभिन्न सामाजिक समस्याओं का एक मुख्य कारण यहाँ की अधिक निरक्षरता प्रतीत हुई। इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए जिले में साक्षरता अभियान शुरू किया गया, जिसके अंतर्गत सर्वप्रथम महिला ज्ञानालय, जिसमें पंचायत की पढ़ी लिखी महिलाएं अन्य अशिक्षित महिलाओं की हैंड होल्डिंग करते हुए उन्हें शिक्षित करने का कार्य किया। और उसके बाद हमारे प्रौढ़ शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में वॉलंटियर्स ने हमारा सहयोग करते हुए पूरे जिले में इस साक्षरता अभियान को आगे किया, जिसके कारण आज हमारा जिला 100% कार्यात्मक साक्षरता की ओर अग्रसर है।
कलेक्टर के प्रयासों और जन भागीदारी से मंडला पूर्ण साक्षर जिला बन चुका है।
20
इसका औपचारिक ऐलान 15 अगस्त को किया जाना है। इस शुभ मौके पर जिले के प्रभारी मंत्री श्री बिसाहूलाल सिंह के
I think
साथ
so, we can end
सांसद
the-
एवं केंद्रीय मंत्री श्री फग्गन सिंह कुलस्ते उपस्थित रहेंगे।
So, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashika. That was an excellent presentation, and overall the initiative is also very innovative, and it is gives a lot of confidence in the institution of civil services and district magistrate and district collector in particular, because it has been driven by you. And please stay in the web room, and we'll come back to you after the second presentation. So now I'll request Shri Gautam Raj to kindly start his presentation on Akshaya Big Campaign for Document Digitization.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, myself, Gautam Raj, I am IAS 2023 batch, presently posted as Assistant Collector, Wayanad District. So, I would be presenting on behalf of District Administration, Wayanad, about ABCD campaign, which was initiated by District Administration, Wayanad. So, ABCD stands for Akshaya Big Campaign for Document Digitalization, which was piloted by the District Administration in 2021 and was extended during the period 2021 and 2022, which aimed at providing basic documents to people belonging to the scheduled tribe community in the entire district. So initially, I'll give a brief introduction about the district Wayanad. So it is one of the 14 districts of the state of Kerala. So it is located among the natural hills of Western Ghats, and it is known for its picturesque locations and all. And Wayanad district is one of the aspirational districts as part of the Niti Aayog.
Other speakers may kindly mute their mics. We are getting cross voices. I'll request other speakers to kindly mute their voices. Only the main speaker should continue. S. Gautam Raj.
So another peculiarity about Wayanad district is that it is the district which has the largest proportion of tribal population in the state of Kerala. Around 19% of the population of Wayanad district belongs to scheduled tribe community, among which many are belonging to particularly vulnerable tribal communities like Adia, Paniya, and Katunaika, etc. And the district also faces challenges like connectivity issues, because many of the tribal hamlets or urus are located at remote areas. And it also faces frequent occurrences of natural disasters like floods and landslide. The recent occurrence of a landslide in Wayanad in July is an example of that. And also challenges like human-wildlife conflict, etc. So now coming to the ABCD program. So what does exactly this program aims at? So this aimed at providing a set of 6 basic documents, which are very essential for availing a lot of government schemes, benefits, and all to people belonging to all the tribal community. And it also aimed at ensuring that there is a safe and secure means of keeping these documents safe through the DigiLocker initiative of the Government of India. So it was an initiative which was started by the district administration, but it was a collaborative effort which involved the participation of a lot of stakeholders. It was supported by the Kerala State IT Mission. As you can see, the A in the ABCD campaign stands for Akshaya. Akshaya basically refers to the Akshaya centers, which are the common service centers which are run by the Kerala State IT Mission. And apart from the Kerala State IT Mission, the Scheduled Tribe Department, the Panchayat authorities, and a lot of other line departments and civil society organizations actively participated in the successful rollout of this program. So coming to the background of ABCD program, or how it started, or what was the necessity of it, many would be wondering whether such a program for providing basic documents would have a relevance in a state like Kerala. So in 2021, the district administration felt that many of the people from the tribal community, they had to frequently visit the government offices. That too, they have to visit multiple offices and multiple times. So, and since many of these tribal hamlets were located in remote and inaccessible areas, that made it difficult for them because they will be losing one day's wages, etc. And so there was a need felt for providing these set of basic documents through a unified means, bringing together all the departments under a single umbrella. Apart from that, another issue was that Kerala had witnessed floods and landslides in 2018 and 2019, and its impact was also felt in Wayanad. So a lot of people, especially those who are belonging to the particularly vulnerable tribal communities, they had lost these important documents. So there was a need felt for securing and safely keeping these documents that are provided to the people belonging to the tribal community. So these were the twin objectives of ensuring the basic documents as well as the securing the basic documents that was behind this ABCD initiative. So as a prior work, initially a need assessment survey was conducted by the tribal department in collaboration with the Kerala State IT Mission to assess how many beneficiaries require this. And based on that, scientifically a program was devised to plan and execute this. So coming to the program partners, as I had mentioned, initially it was driven by the district administration, but it was a collaborative effort with the support of Kerala State IT Mission, the Scheduled Tribe Department, and the local self-government institutions, the panchayats, as well as the municipalities, and a lot of civil society organizations like NSS volunteers, Nehru Yuva Kendra volunteers, NCC cadets, student police cadets, etc. So coming to the ABCD program and like how it was executed. So as you can see, this program aimed at providing a set of 6 basic documents to the people, which were Aadhaar card, the ration card, voter ID card, birth certificate, and health insurance services like the Ayushman Bharat and the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, etc., and bank account opening. So these set of 6 documents were essential or necessary for availing lot of government benefits, schemes, etc. So that is why these set of 6 basic documents were chosen for providing through this ABCD initiatives. So based on the need assessment survey, camps were organized and camps were conducted in each local self-government institutions. Wayanad has 23 panchayats and 3 municipalities. So one camp was conducted in each of these local bodies, and each of the camp went for around 3 to 4 days, depending upon the number of applications or beneficiaries. So documents were processed and provided on the spot to the maximum extent as possible. And if those could not be provided on the spot, a timeline of 30 days was identified to complete it on a fast track mode and provide to the beneficiaries. So it was also ensured that at the end of the camp, these documents provided to the beneficiaries would be stored in a DigiLocker account in their name. So apart from this, the Kerala State IT Mission also had set up what are called as tribal friendly counters or Gotra Sauhrada counters in their Akshaya centers or the common service centers. So these Gotra Sauhrada counters did a very good job, especially prior to the camp and after the camp. So prior to the camp, they helped in doing some of the prerequisite works like Aadhaar enrollment, because Aadhaar is required for ration card opening, etc., and income certificate generation, etc. So all these prior works were done through some mini camps in these Gotra Sauhrada counters, and some of the follow-up works, because some of the people would not be able to come to the camp on that specified date because of various personal engagements, etc. So all those who could not attend the camps, they were asked by the tribal promoters of the tribal department to come and attend these Gotra Sauharda counters to ensure that the documents are given to all the people in the tribal hamlet within 30 days. So apart from that, along with this camp, since these camps were a massive gathering with every day more than 500 to 600 people participating, the district administration also set up other activities along with it, like financial literacy campaigns by the bank, and also health awareness campaigns by the health authorities, and awareness programs on TB, anemia, etc. among the tribal community. So coming to the program execution stages on what happened before the camp and on the camp day and post the camp. So pre-camp, as I had mentioned earlier, a comprehensive need assessment survey was conducted through the tribal department promoters along with the support of IT mission staff. So each panchayat wise, they identified how many beneficiaries require what all documents and what are the preparatory works that are to be done for getting these documents. So for example, for ration card, income certificate, as well as residency certificate is required if they are missing that. So all those preparatory works or that are needed were identified as part of this need assessment survey. And apart from that, the district level, under the chairmanship of district collector and with the sub collector as the nodal officer, various meetings were conducted to prepare a schedule for these camps, like the location and how many days would be required at each camp in each panchayat, based on the number of applications or beneficiaries. And proper IEC campaigns through various means were provided through social media like WhatsApp messages, Facebook groups, etc. And apart from that, through mic announcements. And the major success of this project was the effort taken by the panchayat members. So initially, when the project was piloted in the Tondarnad Panchayat in Wayanad district, so the district administration as well as the panchayat authorities were apprehensive about the success of this project. But after the first day, when it was felt that it had a great response from the people, the panchayat authorities were asking for extending the camp for the second and third day. So once the first camp was a success, there was demand from each panchayat itself to conduct the camps in their premises. So that way, it was primarily because of their enthusiasm and support also that this camps became a great success. So apart from that, on camp day, how were the activities organized was that, so the tribal department along with the tribal promoters did the job of mobilizing the people. So they provided jeep services from the remote tribal hamlets to bring people to the camp locations. So the camp location would be primarily a panchayat hall or a community hall that was identified by the panchayat only. And the panchayat used to provide the food, refreshment, and other services to those who are attending the camp. And in the camp, as you can see, this was the general layout of the camp. So there was a registration counter, so where the people who are coming will be registering. And then there was a help desk which was set up by the tribal department as well as the Akshaya centers. So they will be asking the beneficiaries what kind of assistance or what kind of documents they require and or what documents they have brought for it. So based on it, they will be directed to the various counters. So there were various counters that were set up sequentially. So initially there was an Akshaya counter which will provide Aadhaar services, enrollment, updation, and retrieval of the lost Aadhaar cards, etc. And apart from that, there would be a district supply office counter. They'll be responsible for the ration card generation and for retrieval of the lost ration cards, etc. And apart from that, there will be revenue counters. They'll be dealing with the birth certificate issues and income certificate generation, etc. And there would be the election wing where BLOs and the ERO staff would be there. They'll be responsible for providing the election voter ID card related works. And each camp will be under the presence of a sub-collector or a deputy collector rank officer who will be overall responsible for the coordination and cooperation in the camps. And apart from that, the presence of gazetted officers was ensured at the camps to ensure that the basic attestation and all would be carried out. And there were also priority counters that were set up for people from, say, for pregnant ladies and for those who are elderly and those who are differently able to provide these services. So following these layout, after getting all the basic documents, then they'll be going to the DigiLocker counter where the staff of the Akshaya Center, the Kerala State IT Mission, they'll be doing the service of storing all these documents into the DigiLocker account of the people. And if they don't have a SIM card, there was a BSNL counter also set up to take a SIM card and then like put the documents in the DigiLocker map to that SIM card. So after that, basic refreshments were provided to the people and then they come out of the camp. So, but a lot of the works will not get finished on the camp day itself. So on an average, a camp in a panchayat will last for around 3 to 4 days, but still most of the works won't get completed on that day. So a proper monitoring and follow-up was done after that. So so as part of this monitoring and follow-up, one thing was that those who could not come to the camp, so they were asked to come to the tribal facilitation counters in the Akshaya centers and apply for these documents within 30 days by the tribal promoters. Apart from that, there would be cases in which while providing these documents, there was a requirement of some verification or further field visit by the administrative staff. So in such cases, that will be marked on a priority or a fast track mode, and that was completed within a span of 30 days. So a proper monitoring mechanism was set up at the panchayat level with the participation of elected representatives and officials, and at the district level with the district collector and the sub collector monitoring it. So this ensured that at the end of 30 days, all the basic documents were provided to 100% of the people belonging to the tribal communities, and each of the local self-government institution was declared as having these basic documents. So these were the major stakeholders who were part of the initiative. So this was roughly the staff strength of each camp, which was deployed for catering to around 500 to 600 minimum beneficiaries per day. So this was the role of each of the stakeholders. The local self-government institutions, they helped in arranging the infrastructure and facilities and refreshment for the camps. The tribal department, they took the job of mobilizing the people through the tribal promoters and bringing them by providing jeep services. And apart from that, the service charge of applying for various these services through the Akshaya centers, that were borne by the tribal department. So the beneficiaries did not have to pay any amount from them. Apart from that, the IT mission and the Akshaya center, they provided the IT infrastructure through the computers and other hardware devices. Plus, apart from that, availability of a photographer was also ensured at each camp to ensure that those who don't come with the photographs for Aadhaar enrollment, the photograph is captured at the real time and photograph is generated. So apart from that, health department ensured the service of a doctor with signature authority at the camps. The lead bank, in collaboration with the local bank branches, allowed the presence of the branch manager to ensure that bank accounts are opened for the beneficiaries. And apart from that, the civil supplies department took the providing ration card details, and election department along with the ERO staff was responsible for providing the voter ID card. And the Kerala State Electricity Board was responsible for providing the electricity services to the camp locations. And the BSNL had provided internet connectivity as well as providing the SIM cards to those who require new SIM cards. And so the revenue department was responsible for the overall coordination and management of the staff, apart from the handling of the birth certificate request, income certificate request, etc. So apart from this, it also showed the participation of a lot of civil society organizations like NSS volunteers, NCC cadet, and Kerala has student police cadets also, who also actively participated in this. So all this resulted in making this project a big success. So this was the overall output of the initiative. So as I had mentioned, there are 26 local bodies. So 26 camps were conducted. On an average, each camp went for 3 or 4 days. So around 95 camp days was conducted. So around more than 11,180 officials were engaged. In fact, a mini district administration was functioning at each camp location. And the number of beneficiaries served were 64,670 beneficiaries, and more than 1,42,000 services were rendered as part of this initiative. So these are some of the testimonials from the project. So another aspect of this project was that there were people who could not come to the camps because of being bedridden or because of being elderly. So the initiative was taken to provide that these services would be available at their doorstep. So you can see a person who was bedridden getting this Aadhaar card services at his doorstep. And apart from that, a lot of people who have lost the documents as part of the floods and landslide were able to retrieve it. And the feedback that we got after the camps also was that since these documents are safely stored in the DigiLocker, so that has resulted in the loss of documents not being an issue now. So coming to the sustainability scope for replication and scale up of this project, coming to the sustainability aspect. So after the culmination of this camp, most of the camps got culminated by 2022 December, and by beginning of 2023, Wayanad was declared as providing 100% of basic documents to all the people belonging to the scheduled tribe community. And after that, since we have set up the tribal friendly counters in all the Akshaya centers, through the tribal friendly counters, still these services are provided free of cost to the people belonging to the tribal community, and the cost is being borne by the tribal department. So that that program is still functioning, and more than 10,000 plus service requests have been processed after this end of this ABCD initiative. Now coming to the scope for replication, this was taken up at the state level. The state scheduled tribe department minister urged all the district collectors to replicate this project, and it was replicated in districts like Palakkad, Kozhikode, Kasaragod, Thrissur, and Trivandrum. And now coming to the scaling up aspect of it, it has the potential to be scaled up to statewide as well as to nationwide. It can be adopted in districts which has significant tribal population and where there are connectivity issues and all. So similar kind of campaign mode approach could be followed there. Apart from that, it can also be tailor-made for other selected communities, like other backward communities, for people who are Divyang or differently abled, and for children. So here in Wayanad itself, as a follow-up, we had started something called A4 Aadhaar campaign, so which focused on providing the Aadhaar enrollment and mandatory biometric updation for the children. So these are the potential scale-up opportunities of this project. So there is a short video of this project, ABCD initiative. I'll be sharing that.
In 2019 floods and faced difficulty in getting disaster relief packages and compensation. Hence, district administration came up with the idea of ABCD, Akshaya Big Campaign for Document Digitalization.
The aim is to give mandatory documents to all the tribal people, to cover the entire population, and to see that the documents are kept safe custody in the DigiLocker system.
The 6 basic documents are
documents such as the election ID card, the PDS cards and the like. With the successful implementation of this project, we have also kept in mind that the future generation who belong to the tribal communities are also taken care of, and all basic minimum facilities as well as the government scheme reach the lowest level of the society.
ABCD is a refreshingly new example in bringing government much closer to the doorstep of each citizen and is a model worth replicating across India.
Thank you, Gautam. So we have already passed the normal time of this conference, but I think a lot of us have a lot of curiosity about both these wonderful initiatives and a lot of questions also. So I will take, I'll actually ask a question from both the speakers, one each. First question is to Harshika ji. Basically what we were discussing that the initiative was wonderful, but we see a lot of drive from the individual, which is the head of the project or the district magistrate. So it's a wonderful thing. We need such officers with so much of drive and passion to do good work. But the institutional, as you said, that's a very backward district. The institutional presence was not there. It was an institution created by the drive of the district magistrate. Normally, we have all observed that once that officer gets transferred, which is inevitable in the government service, then such an initiative tends to slightly lapse back. Because education, as you know, especially the adult education, has been a focus for more than 3 decades now. So when we were also preparing for the civil services, and we used to learn that this district is now totally, total education is there and literacy is there. But when we went to the field again, we saw that it lapses back. Most of the people who had learned the, had entered the literate category, again lapse back into the same, prior stage. So what is your feeling on this once, because now you have moved out of the district, you really think that the institution you created is still there, or you could have done slightly better to make that institution permanent? What could be done? What are your experience post that initiative was over from your side?
Sir, you rightly mentioned that institutionalization of initiative is the most important thing whenever we take up any of these kind of campaigns, sir. In this case, sir, I would say I was lucky enough that when we were running this entire campaign, during that time, Government of India was working on the Nav Bharat Saksharta Abhiyan, which is now rolled out in all the districts. And the element which we had in a campaign, it is almost like a mirror image of what we have in terms of the that scheme. So like for example, so at the point when I left, certification in terms of the open schooling was still left for the entire populace, which is now being carried forward under that scheme. Having said that, sir, one or two things which I personally felt and I tried to do that was, is like, sir, we talked about Mahila Gyanalaya or the women's schools. So here we kind of tried to get that Mahila Gyanalaya institutionalized in the Gram Sabha. I mean, a prastav and everything was also passed from the concerned Gram Sabha, and it was also then taken up with the government of Madhya Pradesh, who also issued a kind of an order later on, sir, that it would be a part of discussion. Now it is now a part of discussion in the Gram Sabha. That building, that thing that has been handed over to the women beneficiaries, uske jo pros and cons, all the points that have to be taken care of, it is now a discussion in each of the Gram Sabha that is happening there. So at least wo elements, sir, Mahila Gyanalaya mein we could do. It is definitely, sir, I would say ki, unfortunately, when we run these campaigns, we do not at times take care of the fact, especially if it is run by the civil society contribution or with the common community, that with the officer going off, how things can fall back. And I would say that I have been lucky enough that my predecessors, there have been two people who have been there after me, and that Yojana under Nav Bharat Saksharta Abhiyan is being taken care of even till now, sir. And As I mentioned, around 10,000 of them are sitting for exams which are happening every 3 months. So things are happening, sir, definitely. But yes, much more could have been done in terms of institutionalization of things that we had started then, sir.
Excellent. I hope that you continue with the good work and such wonderful initiatives keep on rolling. So I'll have one question, Gautam, it is to you. Basically, as you know, this camp mode service delivery is very successful. It is very impactful in the shorter course. Again, the question is same, how to institutionalize the mechanism, because we see a lot of initiatives happening in which people are using e-governance as the initiative, that they are developing the citizen services center. You said Akshaya Center, that people can come anytime. There should be a resource who is permanently trained, who can upload these documents and who can create these documents. So between a camp mode and service delivery, and between a as compared to that, institutionalizing it through e-governance, what do you believe would be a long-term solution for this?
So, as you have mentioned, so a campaign mode was essentially needed for achieving this target. But post that campaign, what the effort the district administration had taken for institutionalizing it was, as I had mentioned, there was the Gotra Sauhrada counters or tribal friendly counters, which was set up in the Akshaya centers. So all those requests which are being continuously received are being processed through that counters, so that providing basic documents to the people belonging to the tribal community, that is being ensured by the administration in collaboration with the IT mission. But now coming to the second part, like not just providing these services is enough. So effort was taken with the initiative of IT mission also for providing digital literacy campaigns and digital literacy initiatives to the people belonging to the tribal community. So the Akshaya staff, along with the tribal promoters, would be providing the classes on like how to use the DigiLocker services. And actually the feedback that we took from the district also shows that there are less like coming to the offices for getting these basic documents, etc. And people have started using these DigiLocker services, etc. And now the state government, the Kerala State IT Mission, is also planning for providing a smart card kind of system where all these services are brought to a single platform, a kind of unified platform. So that can be a long-term sustainable solution for ensuring this.
Excellent. So basically, you are also converging to the same point that this institution has to be developed, and e-service delivery is a very potent solution for that. So thanks to both the speakers. I have a common request to both of you. As you know that we are trying to drive these innovations through the DRPG and NCGG. I'll request that in the direction of replication of these wonderful initiatives, if your state governments have issued any further orders, so like Mandla initiative for the other districts of MP, and Wayanad, you said that you named some of the districts. So if you have any state government order and which are the districts which have replicated these initiatives, if you could kindly mail it to us, so that we are in the process of now documenting these replication initiatives. Because once the initiative is over, people tend to move forward, but the permanent impact of the same and the institutional memory and the enhancement of the impact is what we are documenting now. So I'll be thankful if you can share these documents with us over email or WhatsApp, whatever is possible, to our director or US. I am also there. Secretary sir is also keen on this. He has been focusing on the replication impact, and because that is where we want to create a permanent database and the resource set. So thank you all. So I think now we have surpassed the time limit by a lot, and it's lunchtime. If Priska madam permits me, I can thank them on her behalf. So thank you both the speakers again. We had a wonderful session listening to both of you, and I'm sure our audience has benefited a lot. And keep this good work continue, and we want to see further initiatives in future from both of you and the districts and the district teams as well. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.